Imagine fighting someone who just won't stay down, no matter how hard you hit them. In the world of anime, there are characters with mind-blowing regeneration powers that make them nearly unbeatable. Today, we're counting down the top 10 characters with the craziest healing abilities you've ever seen. So, at number 10, we have Gerard Valkyrie from Bleach. Gerard's power is all about his shrift, also named the Miracle. What makes it so wild is that it's tied to the belief in his invincibility. The more people believe in his strength, the more unstoppable he becomes. It's not just about physical power, it's psychological too. Imagine fighting someone who gets stronger every time you acknowledge their power. Crazy, right? Now, in the 1,000-year Blood War arc, we see just how overpowered Gerard really is. During his battle with the Shinigami, Zaraki literally slices him in half. And what does Gerard do? He just regenerates like it's no big deal. This guy's regeneration is on a whole different level, bordering on straight-up immortality. What makes Gerard such a terrifying opponent is that the usual battle tactics don't work on him. Instead of wearing him down, every attack just makes him stronger. It's a vicious cycle that leaves his enemies with barely any options for victory. You've got to wonder though, is there a limit? Could Gerard keep absorbing damage and growing in power forever, or does he eventually hit a cap? And here's the kicker. Unlike other Quincy, Gerard actually gets more powerful with every injury he takes. Not only does he heal, but he also becomes a bigger threat in the middle of the fight. Talk about an escalating nightmare for anyone who crosses his path. Then we have Ban from 7 Deadly Sins. Now, Ban isn't your average immortal. He's got this insane ability to regenerate, and it's not just your run-of-the-mill healing factor. Nope, Ban's regeneration is fueled by some seriously magical mojo, and it's a key part of what makes him such a badass in the series. So, how did Ban get this crazy power? Well, it all starts with the legendary Fountain of Youth. One sip from this mystical water, and Ban was granted the ability to bounce back from pretty much any injury. We're talking about fatal wounds, getting dismembered, or even being turned to ash. Nothing can keep this guy down for long. It's almost like his soul is somehow tied to the magical realm he's living in, letting him cheat death over and over again. But here's the twist, Ban's immortality isn't just some simple biological trick, it's all about magic. There are moments in the series where Ban gets completely obliterated, and yet he comes back as if nothing ever happened. It's wild. Of course, even Ban's insane regeneration has its limits. When Meliodas hits him with Hellblaze, a dark technique that can actually nullify his healing, Ban's powers are put to the test. This move leaves him with permanent scars, proving that there are some abilities out there that can counter his regeneration. And then there's Purgatory. Ban's time in this hellish dimension is no vacation. He's pushed to the absolute edge. But in true Ban fashion, he comes out stronger, tougher, and ready to take on the Demon King himself. Now, let's talk about Ban's biggest rival, Escanor, the Sin of Pride. This guy's got raw power like no other, especially during the day when his strength peaks. In a direct fight, Escanor can definitely overpower Ban. But here's the catch. Even if Escanor crushes him, Ban's immortality means he's never truly out of the game. When night falls and Escanor's power fades, Ban's right there, ready to strike back. At number 8, we have Boros from One Punch Man. Boros is not just any villain. This guy has some of the craziest regenerative abilities in the entire series, and it's a huge part of what makes him such a beast in battle. So how does he do it? Let's break it down. First off, Boros' regeneration isn't some random superpower. It's part of his alien DNA. His species evolved on a brutal planet where survival of the fittest is the name of the game. This gave them the ability to heal from even the most gruesome injuries almost instantly. And let me tell you, this makes Boros one of the most hardcore opponents Saitama has ever faced. Now, if you've seen the anime, you know how epic this looks on screen. When Saitama lands one of his signature punches, Boros' body doesn't just fall apart, it disintegrates into pieces. But here's where it gets cool. Those pieces don't stay scattered. Instead, they're pulled back together by this glowing energy at the center of his chest. It's almost like a magnet pulling his body back to life, and it's just as wild as it sounds. In the manga, this process is a little more straightforward. They focus more on the regeneration itself, rather than showing us the mechanics behind it. But in both versions, Boros explains that his regeneration is powered by energy, which is absolutely key to his survival. That purple glow you see in the anime, some fans thought it was like a special object or marble, kinda like what Melzargard uses. But nope, It's all Boros and is purely a part of his biological makeup. Unlike Melzagard, who needs those marbles to regenerate, Boros' ability is all natural, built right into his species. In fact, Boros' people are said to have the best regenerative powers in the entire universe. No wonder this guy is so confident in battle. He literally believes he can take on anything, even Saitama's insane strength. But here's the catch. Even Boros' incredible healing has its limits. During his epic showdown with Saitama, Boros starts to hit a wall. As he takes more and more damage, you can see his regeneration slowing down because he's burning through his energy reserves. And once that energy runs out, it's game over for Boros. His defeat really drives home that even the most powerful abilities have their breaking point. So yeah, Boros' regeneration is off the charts, but it's not invincible. It's what makes him one of the toughest and most resilient characters in One Punch Man. But at the end of the day, even he couldn't outlast Saitama's power. At number 7, here comes Utsuro from Gintama. First off, Utsuro has the incredible power to absorb and contain massive amounts of Altana, the mystical energy source that's like the lifeblood of the Gintama universe. What does this mean for him? Near ageless immortality. Yep, Utsuro can bounce back from nearly any injury and keep on fighting without ever needing to dodge. Imagine being in a fight where you don't even flinch, because you don't have to. That's how formidable Utsuro is in combat. But here's the thing, Utsuro's immortality isn't just about surviving physical wounds. It's tied to something much deeper. He's been alive for over 1,000 years, and with that much time on his hands, he's racked up insane combat experience. He's mastered techniques and skills that regular mortals couldn't even begin to understand. And because of his endless life, he can keep evolving, adapting, and perfecting his fighting style, becoming an even bigger threat as time goes on. Now, let's get into the darker side of Utsuro. His immortality has led him down a path of suffering and a search for meaning that seems almost endless. Living for centuries has left him feeling detached from humanity, leading to a hollow existence where he's constantly wrestling with the weight of his experiences. He's been persecuted, beaten down, and betrayed, and all that pain has twisted his generative power into something destructive. Utsuro isn't just fighting to survive. He's trying to reshape the entire universe through chaos and conflict, hoping to end the cycle of suffering he's trapped in. What's fascinating about Utsuro is his duality. He's not just a destroyer. He was once a teacher, Yoshida Shoyu, guiding others and showing kindness. But as Utsuro, he's the harbinger of destruction, a force of chaos. This split in his identity makes his motivation super complicated. One moment he's benevolent, the next malevolent. His generative power isn't just about physical strength. It's about the potential for change, for redemption. In Gintama, we see characters constantly trying to redefine themselves, and Utsuro's journey is a powerful reflection of that theme. At number 6, we have Rimuru Tempest from The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. So first things first, Rimuru's got these insane generative abilities that let him create and manipulate matter, energy, and magic, like it's no big deal. Need a weapon? Rimuru can whip one up in seconds. Need an entire city? Rimuru's got that covered too. The guy, or should I say slime, can create objects of all shapes, sizes, and materials just by tapping into his imagination and skill. And get this, Rimuru can even create food. We're not talking about basic survival rations here. We're talking about delicious, nutritious meals that can keep himself and his allies fueled and ready for anything. Imagine being able to conjure up a feast whenever you want. That's the kind of power Rimuru's packing. But it doesn't stop there. Rimuru's creation abilities are also perfect for construction. Whether it's fortifications, shelters, or even entire cities, Rimuru can build it all. In the blink of an eye, he can create complex structures that would take humans years to complete. It's like having an entire construction crew at his fingertips. Now, let's talk healing. Rimuru's creation skills extend to repairing and restoring just about anything. Broken objects, no problem. Wounds and injuries, consider them healed. He can even regenerate lost limbs. It's like Rimuru's got the ultimate first aid kit built right into his slimy self. But wait, there's more. Rimuru can also generate magical constructs and phenomena to suit any situation. Need a barrier for protection? Done. Want to create some mind-bending illusions? Rimuru's got you covered. His magical abilities give him an edge in just about any scenario, whether it's combat or diplomacy. And if that wasn't enough, Rimuru can even transform himself into others using his creation abilities. He can alter his appearance, change physical forms, and even grant new powers or attributes to his allies. Talk about a game changer. One of the coolest aspects of Rimuru's abilities is his mastery over elemental energies. He can create elemental constructs, control natural forces like fire, water, wind, and earth, and even dabble in alchemy to create entirely new elements. The possibilities are literally endless. Oh, and did I mention summoning? That's right, Rimuru can call forth creatures and entities to fight alongside him or help with specific tasks. Whether it's bringing in some backup for a battle or summoning a helper for a big project, Rimuru's got it all figured out. Now at number 5, we have Muzan Kibutsuji from Demon Slayer. Muzan's regeneration is on another level. All demons in the Demon Slayer universe can heal from injuries, but Muzan, he takes it to the extreme. We're talking about a guy who can regrow his head in seconds after being decapitated. That's right, Muzan's healing is so rapid and efficient that conventional attacks are almost useless against him, while his opponents are still processing their attack. Muzan's already back in action, ready to strike. But it's not just about speed. Muzan has a profound control over his own biology. He can manipulate his body at a cellular level, allowing him to regenerate not just limbs, but also internal organs and other vital body parts. Imagine taking a hit that would be fatal to anyone else, only to shrug it off and keep fighting. That's the kind of power Muzan brings to the table. Now, let's talk strategy. Regeneration isn't free, it costs energy. But Muzan, being the genius that he is, can regulate the speed of his healing to conserve stamina. In long battles, he can pace his regeneration, making sure he stays in top form while his opponents wear themselves out. And if he ever needs a quick boost, all he has to do is consume some humans to replenish his strength and enhance his regenerative powers even further. To sum it up, Muzan's regeneration is a perfect blend of speed, control, and strategy. He can heal from catastrophic injuries almost instantly, manipulate his body at a microscopic level, and keep going no matter what's thrown at him. That's what makes Muzan Kibutsuji the most feared and powerful demon in the entire series. At number 4, we have Envy from Full Metal Alchemist. Let's talk about what makes Envy such a tough opponent, his remarkable regeneration abilities. Like all homunculi, Envy can heal from injuries that would leave a normal human out of commission, or worse. We've seen him take on fatal blows and bounce back like it's nothing. Whether he's taking a direct hit in battle or getting caught in the crossfire, Envy's quick healing makes him one of the most resilient characters in the series. Now, here's the kicker. Envy's regeneration isn't just some random superpower. It's directly linked to the Philosopher's Stone, the very thing that gives all homunculi their life and powers. This means his ability to recover from damage is tied to a much deeper, darker source of energy, making him nearly unstoppable, or so he thinks. But let's not forget Envy's biggest weakness, his arrogance. His regenerative powers give him a sense of invincibility that often leads him to underestimate his opponents. He walks into battles thinking he can outlast anyone, but that overconfidence has been his downfall more than once. Remember when he went up against Edward and Mei Chang? He was so sure of himself that he didn't take them seriously, and it cost him dearly. Envy's arrogance is a major character flaw, and it's something we don't see as strongly in other homunculi. And while we're on the topic of his abilities, let's talk about his shapeshifting. Sure, Envy can transform into any creature or human, making him incredibly versatile. But there's a catch. His true form is massive, and when he shifts into a smaller, more human-like shape, he doesn't actually shed any weight. This limitation is something we don't see in homunculi like Pride, who can freely manipulate the size and shape of their shadows without the same constraints. In the end, Envy's regeneration makes him a formidable foe, but his overconfidence and arrogance are his biggest downfalls. He's a character who could have won more battles if he'd just taken his enemies seriously. But that's what makes Envy so interesting to watch. His flaws make him as much of a tragic figure as he is a villain. At number 3, we have Andy from Undead. Andy's undead ability is all about immortality. That's right, no matter what kind of injury he suffers, Andy can bounce back. We're talking about a guy who can recover from anything, whether it's a tiny scratch or a fatal blow. This makes him virtually invincible in combat and a key player in the series. But here's where it gets interesting. Andy's regeneration isn't just a one-size-fits-all power. It's selective. His regenerative abilities only kick in for injuries that are life-threatening or cause him to bleed. Minor stuff like dislocations, those don't activate his powers. This selective nature adds a whole new layer of strategy to his fights. Andy has to manage his injuries and decide when it's worth letting his regeneration take over. Andy's powers aren't just about defense, they're about creativity and strategy. He's got some seriously cool tricks up his sleeve. For example, he can detach his body parts and use them as projectiles. Want to shoot off an arm as a weapon? Andy can do that. Need a quick clone? Just regenerate from a severed finger. And let's not forget about his blood. It's not just for healing. He can manipulate it to fly or even form weapons, showcasing just how versatile his ability can be. When it comes to speed, Andy's regeneration is lightning fast. He can regenerate entire limbs or even his whole body in mere seconds. That's some of the quickest healing you'll see in fiction, making him a formidable opponent in any battle. Now we have Fushi from To Your Eternity. Let's talk about Fushi's immortality. Created by the enigmatic beholder, Fushi has the power to regenerate from death itself. That means he can heal from any injury and even restore lost limbs. This ability is crucial for his survival as he faces countless adversities on his journey across the world. Whether it's a brutal battle or a fatal encounter, Fushi's regeneration ensures that he keeps moving forward. But Fushi's powers go beyond just healing. He's also a master of shape-shifting. Once a living creature has made a strong impression on him and dies, Fushi can transform into that creature. This means he can take on their physical appearance, skills, and attributes. For example, he first takes on the form of a wolf after forming a bond with a boy who later passes away. It's a unique and emotional way of honoring those he encounters. Now, here's where it gets even cooler. Fushi can create objects from nothing. As he gains experience and learns more about the world, he can produce everything from weapons to entire buildings and even kingdoms. This ability allows him to use his powers not just in combat, but also to help others and shape the world around him. But perhaps the most touching aspect of Fushi's character is his deep empathy. He can feel the pain and emotions of those around him, which profoundly influences his decisions and interactions. This ability to connect with others and understand their experiences is central to his development and drives much of the story. In summary, Fushi's regenerative powers, shape-shifting abilities, and empathy combine to create a complex and deeply engaging character. His immortality presents both challenges and opportunities, and his connections with others make his journey all the more compelling. Here comes at number 1, the character who can regenerate power most quickly, and nobody can do it like him. Yes! It's one and only Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. Unlike characters like Piccolo or Cell, Buu's healing abilities are on another level. He can regenerate instantly from any injury, no matter how severe. We're talking about recovering from being reduced to vapor. While Cell needs his head, or a cluster of cells, to regenerate, Buu only needs a tiny bit of his physical form, just a single cell or even an atom. As long as there's some physical material left, he can restore himself to full health. It's regeneration taken to an extreme. Now, here's where Buu really stands out. His regeneration doesn't drain his energy reserves. That's right, he can heal over and over again without weakening. On the other hand, Cell's regeneration consumes energy, which is why he started to weaken after regenerating from Goku's devastating attack. Buu's regenerative abilities are practically limitless. He can regenerate instantly without showing any signs of fatigue or diminished capacity, making him nearly impossible to kill through conventional means. Buu's regeneration isn't just fast, it's magical. Unlike Piccolo's biological regeneration, which, while impressive, has its limits, Buu's regeneration seems to operate on a whole different level. Piccolo might need time to heal and can get weaker over time, but Buu's magical regeneration is instantaneous and boundless. He can come back from virtually any state of damage or destruction, and his opponents need to come up with creative or extreme methods to try and neutralize him permanently. In the world of Dragon Ball, Majin Buu's regeneration gives him a sort of immortality. While he's not truly immortal, his ability to continuously regenerate from nearly any form of attack or injury makes him almost impossible to take down. It's a testament to how powerful and terrifying Buu can be in battle. If you enjoyed discovering these incredible anime characters with mind-blowing regeneration powers, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more epic anime content, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Comment below with your favorite regeneration character or one we might have missed. Your thoughts could be featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.